Good. Action.
Good to go. Okay. Hey guys, my name is Joe Onifree with Novus Home Mortgage. I wanted to come here today and introduce as many of my realtors as I could to NewView IRA because I'm a customer or client of NewView myself. But a lot of people don't realize that you can use your investment retirement accounts to buy real estate. And we offer a lot of non-traditional lending options that can help people use their investments combined with our products to buy as much real estate as they can. So thank you for being here. I wanted to let Tabitha kind of take over, show you guys how this can be used. So you as a realtor or your potential investors that you work with can use these products, and then let me know how I can help you in regards to that. So I guess that's it. So.
Right. Well, thank you for that introduction and thank you for being here. So we are discussing how to use your IRA funds for your next deal. Oh, I forgot. So disclaimer, we are just a custodian. We are just holding the assets for you and allowing you to invest in those non-traditional assets. We do not provide legal or tax advice. So who is NewView Trust Company? We have been in business since 2003 by our founder, Glenn Mather. We have approximately 20,000 active clients with us investing, and about 50% of them are investing in real estate. We have about $2 billion alternative assets under management at the moment. So what is a self-directed IRA? Anyone have a self-directed IRA in the room, or for those joining us online? All right, so we all know pretty much what an IRA is. It's an individual retirement account that allows you to have those tax benefits or tax deferrals or tax-free growth for your investments. So there's different types of plans that you have for the IRA, and each plan is different for each kind of person and what they're trying to accomplish within their retirement funds or accounts. So the different type of plans that we have are the Roth, the traditional, the solo 401k, SEP, Simple, Health Savings, and Coverdale. So let's go to the next slide and kind of explain a little bit more about those. So I'm so sorry. So what can you invest in inside of an IRA? We'll talk about the different account types in a moment, but what can we invest in? There's foreclosures, tax liens, real estate options. There's not just real estate, there's also syndications where if you want to be a more passive investor in real estate, where you don't want to have to deal with the tenants, the toilets, and all of that, but you're still investing in something that's making the community bigger and better. So what are the benefits of self-direction? You can have true diversification. So here at NewView, we're almost exactly like Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Vanguard, and any of those other types of companies, except they do not allow you to hold non-traditional assets. So anything outside of the stock market, they would not be able to hold there for you. So that's where we come in. So the personal plans that we have, that anyone who has any American earned income and are paying taxes, they are allowed to contribute to a Roth or traditional IRA. With the Roth, that's my personal favorite because you're able to pay only tax on the seed and not the crop. Whereas the traditional IRA, anything that you contribute to a traditional IRA, you can write that off on your taxes. So you have less income, potentially putting you at a lower tax bracket. So with the SEP IRA, this is for anyone who has a business with maybe 1 or 2 employees. You're able to contribute $66,000 inside of that account, which is a very significant amount off on your taxes. Hi, welcome.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Please feel free to grab anything that you want.
Okay.
For the solo 401k, this is my favorite type of account, especially for real estate agents or real estate investors or anyone really who has a business with no employees. You're able to put away 25% of your earned income up to $66,000 per year. And not only that, but it comes with more benefits than any of the other accounts. So you are able to borrow against it 50% up to $50,000. And any other account, you're not able to do so. With the solo 401k and any other type of account like a Roth or traditional, and you were to get a mortgage on the property, you would be subjected to UDFI tax, which is tax that you would be taxed on the leveraged portion of those capital gains from the investment.
The slides on
There you go. Thank you. From there, you would be exempt from any of the tax relating to UDFI in the solo 401k, so you can exempt from that. Another cool thing about the solo 401k is you're able to have traditional and Roth contributions inside of that account. So when you're able to start taking the money out as a personal distribution, you've already paid the tax on the money. You won't have to worry about paying tax as you take it out, which is why I love the Roth so much. And what's cool about the solo 401k, you can have traditional and Roth inside of that account. For the simple IRA, this is also for small business owners who have a small amount of employees who are looking to contribute for themselves as well as their employees. So you have that contribution limit of $15,500. So the specialty plans that we have, most people don't know about the HSA, which is a health savings account. You're able to invest and partner this account just as you are any other type of account for those tax benefits. What's cool about this account is any money that you contribute to it is tax-free. And then as long as you're using the account for qualified medical expenses, it's also tax-free. So you're getting both sides of those tax benefits buckets. And then if you have children, you're able to start a Coverdell Education Savings account. And this doesn't have to be used for college. It can be used for private school or anything like that. And you can partner all of these different types of accounts into one deal, into a joint venture, and be growing each different account. So you have investment choices, as we spoke about before, foreclosures, tax liens, apartments, real estate options. So many different strategies that you have for what's going to best fit your retirement goals. So promissory notes, something else too that you can be a passive investor on, where you know real estate agents or real estate investors who are looking for extra funds for a deal. You can loan out your money to them, and you actually become the bank. So you're loaning your money on your terms and being able to do it that way. So trusts and joint ventures, limited partnerships, these are like the syndications that we were talking about. There will be sometimes people that are trying to do maybe like $100 million deal on properties, hotels, stuff like that. And they're looking for individual investors to come give a minimum investment of $50,000, and they get a bunch of individual investors for one bigger deal. So that's another way that you can be investing in real estate, but it's more passive, that you're not having to deal with worrying about property management or anything like that. The benefits of having a Roth IRA is the qualified distributions over the age of 59 and a half are completely tax-free and penalty-free once the Roth IRA has been open for 5 years. So that's why it's such a powerful type of account, because you're only paying money on the tax on the money that you're putting into the account. Any growth within that account is completely tax-free, even when you take it out. And with the Roth, there's no required minimum distribution.
maximum? Is there a maximum
Of
of the distribution?
no maximum. Which whatever you take out is added to your earned income for the year, potentially putting you in a higher tax bracket. That's the only thing you have to keep in mind. So the solo 401k with the Roth component, $22,500 contribution limit for the employee salary deferral, and $7,500 catch-up contribution if you're over the age of 50, for a total of $30,000 that you're able to put away, which is pretty significant. Total contribution limit for 401k, including employer contributions, is $66,000, as we mentioned before. 25% of that earned income can go into this account, and it can grow pretty quickly. So how does the conversion affect me? So like we were talking about in the solo 401k, you're able to do that conversion. Also, if you have a traditional account, you're able to convert some of that money to Roth. As I mentioned to Tim, you would just be adding that money that you are converting or taking out as a distribution to your earned income, and then paying tax on that at whatever tax bracket that would put you in. So is the Roth conversion right for you? What are the assumptions about the tax rates and laws generally in the future? So these are questions that you can ask yourself. Am I going to be at a higher tax bracket later on in life, or am I going to be at a lower tax bracket? We're not allowed to recommend, but I would say probably do the conversion when you think that you're going to be at the lowest tax bracket that you're ever going to be in, because that's how you're going to pay less in taxes. So can I convert assets or only cash to Roth? You're able to convert cash or assets to Roth. So if you have a property in a traditional IRA, you're able to start converting that property, and then you would just own it. Sorry, I messed it up. But what I wanted to say was that when you're taking it out or converting the money, you can convert it into a Roth. From there, you can also, which most people don't know, because when it comes to purchasing property instead of the IRA, you're not allowed to live, work, or stay on the property. But with this type of account, you're able to take the property out as a distribution. Again, you would just be paying the taxes on it. And then once you paid all the taxes on that property, you would own it personally. So understanding the IRS rules for real estate in an IRA, it must be a passive investment. So must be kept at arm's length. You're not allowed to live, work, or stay on the property. Same with any of your disqualified parties, which would be any of your ascending or descending family members and any of their spouses, along with anybody that you're in business with at 5% or more, your tax professional, your fiduciary, all of those would be considered disqualified. So this is exactly showing you a graph of all the people that would be disqualified to do business with within the IRA. But what's cool is that it does not stop you from doing joint ventures with these people, including yourself. So say, for example, you want to buy a property and you have only 50% of the money in the IRA. Normally, you have three options at this point. You would be able to partner with other people, non-disqualified parties. You would be able to partner with yourself, or you could get a non-recourse loan, which we talked a little bit about earlier, which is a loan or a mortgage that's secured by the value of the property. But in a joint venture, whatever percentage that you put in for each different account, you'll have to remember that percentage, because any expense needed for the property and any capital gains growth from that will be split at that percentage as well. But like we were talking about, these people are disqualified until you go into it at a joint venture. So you're even able to partner with yourself. So back to the example that I was giving, you own 50% of the money that you need for the property in the IRA, and then you own 50% of the money personally. You can go into a deal with yourself at 50%, and then that way, whenever capital gains that are needed for that property will be split at that percentage as well. So if there's a capital gains growth of $100,000, you would get $50,000 of that personally, which you would have to pay taxes on because it was bought out of the IRA. But you're able to make those, have those joint ventures with people who would normally be considered disqualified, including yourself. So 5 considerations to make before buying real estate. These are the questions that you're going to want to ask yourself before buying the real estate. So how do you prefer to take title? Who's going to manage it? What is the exit strategy? So for example, if you go into a deal with a non-disqualified party or a disqualified party like yourself or any of your ascending or descending family members, there would never be a true exit until you guys sell the property, because you want to be able to buy the other percentage of that from the other party because they are disqualified. So unless a non-disqualified party was going to purchase that piece of the 50% of the property from them, then. So could your IRAs use bank financing? So that's a non-recourse loans that we were talking about. Non-recourse loan is a loan that's secured by the value of the property. So if anything went south on the property, they would just sell the property and pay themselves back. With these loans, they usually require 30 to 50% down payment, but from there, you're able to get that extra bit of funding for these deals. And then maximize tax savings through partnering. So if you have multiple accounts, as we mentioned, to say you have an HSA, a Roth, and an educational savings account for your child, you can combine all of those accounts and go into it at a joint venture. You just have to remember, like we were mentioning, at whatever percentage you go in, it's going to be that percentage pretty much until you sell the property. So these are just some case studies. So the purchase price of the 10-unit property was $330,000. An offer was made and the title was drawn up as Newbie Trust Company FBO, John Smith IRA, because when you're purchasing real estate inside of your IRA technically owns the property, not you personally, so it's just written a little bit differently. Newview will sign the contract and send out the earnest money for you, and we will work with the title company, and the deed will reflect that the IRA is the owner. The rent collected are deposited back into the IRA every month, $5,235 per month, with a 19% annual return on their money invested, which I'd say 19% is way better than the volatility of the stock market. So here's another one, Roth conversion. They did it on January 15th, 2011 of $150,000. The purchase price was $101,000. Rehab costs were $30,000. They sold it August 31st, 2011 for $239,000. And the profit after this was $94,000 in 1 year, so just a few months. Robert and his wife Linda both had a Newview Roth IRA, and they also had a Coverdale ESA set up for their 9-year-old son. Purchase price was $100,000. Estimated repairs were $30,000. So the husband's Roth IRA put in 60%, wife's put in 35%, and the son's Coverdale's educational savings account put in $6,500. So Newview Trust Company, it would be listed as this on the title or the deed at whatever percentage that each different account owns. And so Robert Jones would get 60% of the capital gains of that, Linda Jones would get 35%, and then the son's ESA would get 5%. So the investment process would be to complete an application, transfer, rollover, or contribution form to get the account open and funded. From there, once the account's open and funded, you'd find the deal that you're looking to invest in, bring it to Newview, and we would sign all the paperwork for you, send out the earnest money, and send the money out for your investment. There's also another option if you're a more avid investor or somebody that likes to have direct access to their funds. It would be called checkbook control. From there, you would create an LLC for the IRA, and then you would go to a bank, open a regular business checking account for that LLC, and then we would wire the money from your IRA account to your LLC bank account, and your IRA is technically invested into that LLC. So with Newview, little secret, that's only one fee here with us, but you can make multiple investments with that LLC bank account and under that umbrella, and it's only one fee with us, but you're able to, have a debit card and direct access to your funds, which I think is the coolest thing. The only thing you have to consider at that point is you will be your own record keeper, so keep track of everything going in and out of the account in case you were to ever be audited. So this is good for real estate investors who are just looking for a little bit more funding for deals. They can go around to any real estate investor meetup. There's a bunch around here, networking event, and look for people that are looking for funding for deals and say that you're somebody who has quite a bit of money in their IRA and they're not looking to be super caught up on all the deals. They're just looking to loan their money out. You can become the bank. You can loan out money on your own terms. And then you can just use other people's money to invest in your deals. Then whatever that you guys agree upon, like say, for example, you're putting in the money, but you're the investor, you guys can come up with what you guys get out of that deal, all on your own. Of course, you can always meet with an attorney. I always recommend meeting with an attorney. And you have two options. You can secure or unsecure the note. If the note's unsecured and they don't pay you back, then there's no recourse or anything that you can go back against to get your money back from them. So that's why we recommend securing it by something that you think is worth it in value. So there is $14 trillion in IRAs, and there's no better place to look for more money or extra investors than, or people that need to lend or partners for your next venture than people with their IRAs. So if you're looking for extra funding, you can always ask people, are they utilizing their 401k or IRA money? And then there's friends don't let friends keep their money locked up in Wall Street. Let's get out of Main Street and get out of the stock market and get on the Main Street. That's our saying here, because you're able to invest in actually things that you know. Invest in things you know, invest in things that you feel confident about. Need financing to buy and rehab real estate property? IRA owners may be able to deal directly with you. Starting a business and worried banks won't give you a loan? IRA holders can. Have business expertise but not the funds? Do a joint venture with an IRA holder. So you can partner with just about anyone. As we were mentioning, there are those non-disqualified parties. So for example, if you purchase a property in your traditional IRA, you want to be able to have your mom, your brother, anybody like that stay on property, or not your brother, your mom, your dad, your son, and any of their spouses would not be able to live, work, or stay on the property. But just like that, in a joint venture, you're able to go into a deal with them. They still wouldn't be able to live, work, or stay on the property, but you would have extra funding that you can do deals to grow generational wealth within your family. So here at Newview, we have no transactional fees. The more you do, the more you save. We just have flat rate fees. So the fees would be a $50 application fee, $125 for the annual record keeping, and then $325 per investment. And then this is a QR code that if you're interested, you can scan to learn more. And we also have more in-person classes every Tuesday. And that's all.
Oh, very cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions?
So we're still live then too?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
we are.
When it comes to, like, if you bought a property using your IRA and you took out financing, so you have a mortgage payment.
Yeah.
Does the mortgage payment get paid from, say, your LLC bank account where the money might be going back into, or from the IRA account itself?
So it would be, if you have checkbook control, then it would go back to that LLC bank account.
Okay.
But that's completely separate. If you're financing or you get a loan on the property, all of the money, rental income, all that goes back to the IRA, and the IRA pays any bills or fees for you.
Got it.
Everything stays in the IRA, flowing to and from the IRA.
Okay, great.
Nothing can be paid personally, because at that point that would get you in trouble.
And then with
But
the
then you would be
checkbook
getting-
control,
And then with checkbook control, that's completely separate. That's for, avid investors, people who want to do their own bookkeeping, but be able to have direct access and not have to wait for Newview to do the processing time. Because it usually will take 1 to 2 business days here, to make a real estate purchase, as opposed to being able to just swipe a card for a down payment or what have you.
gotcha.
Especially for people who do like wholesaling, who need to close on deals very quickly, so they don't have to rely on Newview, especially if it's over the weekend, stuff like that. They are able to create the LLC, and the only qualifications that it needs, the IRA is 100% member, and then you would be the manager of that LLC. From there, you would go to a bank account, open any business checking account. It's just like an LLC bank account. You never use this for anything other than expenses for the investment purchases, etc. But you have to keep track of everything that goes in and out of the account in case you were to ever be audited, because you would be your own record keeper. But yeah, it's super cool that you can have that money, your retirement funds, directly in your back pocket and be able to make the investments exactly how you want to, without somebody being like, oh, I don't know if this is a good investment. Let me do my research on it before you invest in it, like you would at Charles Schwab, Fidelity, or Vanguard, with any financial advisors.
Very cool.
So with the checkbook control, like who takes title? Does the LLC take title to the property?
Correct. Yeah, the LLC. And that's good for people who don't want their first and last name on a property. They don't want people to know that they own the property. So it's great to have that anonymity. How do I say that word?
I wouldn't even try.
Anonymity for being anonymous on the property.
Cameron asks, does collateral have to be real estate?
Yes. The only collateral that you can have inside of a non-recourse loan is the property because it is secured by the value of the property.
And were they asking if you can purchase other investments than real estate?
You can purchase other investments
Right.
other than real estate, but their question is, does collateral have to be real estate?
Gotcha.
Any other questions online?
Can I change the terms of the note if I buy it?
Yes, you can change the terms of the note at any time. You would just have to make the corrections on the note and then bring it to us, and then we would make the corrections for you within the IRA account.
That's your questions. Online. Go ahead and wrap it up here.
Yeah.